Coming up on episode 52 of Create If Writing, we are talking about free content.
I can't go back to sleep, it's almost light. These restless thoughts have kept me up again tonight.
Welcome to the Create If Writing podcast. Hey there. I'm your host, Kirsten Oliphant, and this is the podcast for writers, bloggers, and creatives, all about building an online platform without being smarmy. So this is episode 52. This marks a year of podcasting, right? Okay, maybe a year and like 5 months, but who's counting? Clearly I am. So this was going to be my episode that's kind of the year in review, but I had some things I wanted to pull together and haven't finished doing that yet. So it's coming, and I'm excited about it. But in the meantime, I had something I was also excited about that I was writing a post for anyway on the blog and thought I would go ahead and just make it into a podcast. So if you want to find the show notes and read more of what I have to say, you can find that at createifwriting.com/052. I don't have a lot of news going on this week. You can still find my book, Email List Made Easy for Writers and Bloggers, if you need some help and get a leg up on your email list. And if you're not sure where to even start, you can start with my free course, which is freeemailcourse.com. Pretty easy. There you go. But in today's episode, I wanted to talk about free content because everybody's talking about free content. Everybody's offering free content. But is there a dark side to free content? Is there something that should hold us back from actually sharing free content? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so to start off, free content, we've seen it everywhere. There are free courses. Oh, hey, yeah, I just mentioned the free email course. That's a free course. There are blog posts with tons of content. And I mean, tons of content. This week, I got a free SEO guide. That's insane from HubSpot. There are free video training courses, free webinars, all kinds of free. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? Clearly, it's the thing to do, right? And generally, the school of thought is this. If you create free content, then you're going to attract people. They're going to love your free content. And when you offer a paid product, they are going to be jumping to get it first. They're going to be standing in line like they would outside the Apple Store to get that paid content because they love your free content, right? Well, maybe. And that's really what most people would say. When you look at free content, people talk about this all the time, giving the free value, then people buy. But there's another side to this that I want to bring out. And just spoiler alert, I'm not going to probably give you an answer, a right or wrong in this podcast. So this is just going to give you things to think about because I think in a lot of areas in the online world, there's no right or wrong. It's right or wrong for you. And that even that can change over time. So, okay, but the other side of that, the other side of free is this. I think it's really important and key and true that you set the expectations for your audience. They come to know what to expect from you. And this is something I talk about in Email List Made Easy for Writers and Bloggers, all about starting off your email list with expectations. You talk in a certain way, you do a welcome series, or at least your first welcome email that kind of sets the tone. And then people start to expect things from you because you have set a tone for them and let them know what to expect. And when you change that, it can be jarring. Sometimes it can be really effective. As an example, on my lifestyle blog, KirstenOliphant.com, I usually have a sort of lighthearted, somewhat, not sarcastic, but a little dry humor going on there. But every so often I will write a post that's more poignant and serious. And I think because I don't do it often, when I do them, they have a great impact. It doesn't turn people off. It makes people sit up and pay attention. So there's a way to do that. But with the free content, the other thing that can happen besides people wanting to line up and buy your product is that when you offer something for money, people freak out. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but I know that I'm not alone in this. I haven't really experienced people freaking out. I have experienced people not buying some of the things I've created, even if it's a product they want. I've even gotten emails from people saying, hey, I would love to buy this. I just don't have it in my budget. And I don't create super high-end $1,000 courses here. So, and I understand that because I'm often a budget person, and depending on where you are in your career and in your sort of author blogging business or whatever you're doing, if you're trying to make money online, you may not have a budget, or maybe you're not trying to make money online. You're just trying to, establish yourself, find a voice that you're passionate about it, but you don't have a budget. So I get that. But providing free content over and over and over again lets people know that you are a great source for free content. And so they may not want to pay. They may not be able to pay. You may build up an audience of bargain shoppers who don't have that money. So I think that's the other side. And I definitely have heard that from other people. And even that it wasn't just people didn't buy or, said they wish they could buy, which that typically is the email that I will get. I get several of these every time I have a paid product. I wish I could buy. It's just not in the budget, even if the product is pretty cheap. And so I know that a lot of my audience it's made up of people who are starting out or who don't have a big budget for their courses. So, the advice to price your courses like their premium courses is awesome. But if your audience is not a premium, pocketbook kind of audience, then you may not sell those premium courses at those prices. So in any case, I have heard from other people that after giving so much free content, when they did create a paid product, there was pushback. There was actual, anger. People sent angry emails. So the reality is there's two things to keep in mind. Yes, you can attract people with free content. And I think free content, whether that's just a blog post or free downloads or free books, it's a great way to attract people. Now, you may be attracting some bargain shoppers. You may be attracting people who can't pay. So that's the other side to that you need to consider and think about. So we are setting expectations for our readers, for our audience with everything that we do. And I want to kind of, now that I've given you kind of the two sides of that, and I don't know what your experience has been, I'd really love to hear in the comments or over in the Facebook group. I will definitely be starting a discussion on this. P.S. If you're not in our Facebook group, it's creativeifwriting.com/community. And we have a lot of great talks over there. It really is a community. So we will talk about this there. But I want to give you guys some tips and things, mostly things not to do that I have seen that are just kind of like, when it comes to free and paid content. So here is my list of things to watch out for if you're offering free content, and even if you offer both free and paid. So the first thing is, if you say it's free, you better mean it. Okay. And I know that I'm not alone in this experience where I have attended webinars, and this is multiple webinars and workshops or free trainings where they say, okay, this is going to be about the 8 ways to monetize your blog. And you get through about an hour and you're 4 points in. And then all of a sudden there's this shift and you're in a sales pitch, because if you want the other 4 ways to monetize your blog, which are, of course, the ways you hadn't heard of before, because the first 4 you've heard of before. The last 4 are behind a paywall and you have to pay for them. It's not free at all. So those drive me crazy. Have you been to one of those? Yeah, we can talk about that. Don't do that. People don't like that. That's not a good, effective way to get people to buy. It does make them want the rest of the content, but it also makes them angry. And you don't want angry people, okay? That's not a good way to find raving fans who are going to be repeat customers. Number 2, if you use free as part of like a sales funnel, don't skimp on the content because you want to make the sale. And this is similar because you might have webinars. I've also been to webinars where they don't say everything's behind a paywall. They don't do like half the training or whatever, but it's just really surface level. And they're like, oh, if you really want to go deeper, it's in the course. Well, okay, so sales funnel basically is kind of a way to drive people into the sale. It's giving out something that kind of brings people in, draws them in, and makes them want your paid product. Okay, so in a way, your paid product is going to offer more. It should offer more. And we'll get to that in a second. But it also, if you want to make a sale, you have to provide good content. You can't skimp on the free part of the sales funnel. That doesn't work for people because people are not going to want to buy. They have to see some kind of proof up front. Sometimes social proof is enough. Like people who have millions of followers and everybody knows their name, it doesn't matter. It's like Apple. It doesn't matter what Apple creates. People are going to wait for it. They don't have to know. But for most of us, you have to prove it. You have to have some kind of proof up front. It's not enough to say, well, I've got 100,000 Pinterest followers. Here's my Pinterest course. Yeah, that'll be compelling. But you've also got to do a good, in-depth, free training. Okay, so number 3, don't charge for something you give away free. That seems really dumb, right? Like, it seems like, who would do that? But people do it all the time. As an example, I went to a conference and met an author who offered me his book, and it was kind of awkward how he did, so I bought it. I wouldn't have otherwise. He kind of held it up, was like, would you like to buy my book? And it was like, yes, I would. Why, yes, I would. So I bought his book, only to find out that when you sign up for his email list, which I did, because I liked him, except for the little awkward book exchange, you got the book for free. And yes, the one I bought was a copy that I held in my hand, but it was not an amazing book. I would have preferred it in a PDF form or something I could read on my Kindle. And I got it for free like 2 days later. And I was really frustrated because I didn't really want to buy the book anyway. So that's my bad for not saying like, hey, no, I don't. But it's awkward in person. But he shouldn't have offered it. Or he should have said, hey, here's my book. Or sign up for my email list. You'll get it for free. That's a better way to do it. Don't offer something paid and promote the paid product if it's somewhere else for free. That's just, no, don't do that. It really cheats people. It literally cheats them and makes them feel cheated for sure. And then kind of a related note is the next point. And I think we're on point 4. I didn't put numbers on these in my notes, so I may lose count here. But number 4, don't charge for something if you give most of it away for free. So I had a year, I feel like last year was my year of attending webinars, and this year I'm so burnt out, I don't anymore. But I learned a lot, and not just what not to do, but I did learn a lot of that. But I was really shocked in a few of the trainings I attended, talking about creating online courses and paid content, that several of the creators mentioned that they give away for free up to about 50% of the courses. And I don't mean that they had like free modules 1 through 3 or something like that, but the content that was in the course was basically given away in podcast interviews, free workshop trainings, and blog posts. And I was sort of like, really? That seems like a whole lot. What are people paying for when they feel cheated? And, you know, everybody seemed to, in the chat box, be like, oh, what a great idea. That's great. And it kind of saved them time to create courses because they already had material. But to me, I was like, that seems weird. And then later that year, I bought a course and found that a huge portion of it I'd already been exposed to through podcast interviews and blog posts and other free content. And I was really disappointed. It seemed like a big waste of money to me. And I felt cheated. So if you are going to charge for a course, I really think you shouldn't give away that much free stuff. Again, it's not like you want to have all the free content be super surfacey and the course go deeper, but if you're offering a course or a book or something that's paid, it should go deeper. That doesn't mean you have to skimp, but maybe you don't have enough depth to have a paid and free version of it. Maybe you only have the paid and don't have a free funnel. Maybe you only have free. I'm not sure, but for sure, don't have people buy your course only to realize that they've already heard everything on there, basically in another form on your blog already. That's really frustrating. And then let's see, I think we're at number 6. If you say free value, it really needs to have value. And this, I think, is hard to know. And this is where like your friends come in or your mastermind group where you can ask them. But if you're going to give something away for free, because there's so much free, you have to make it good because it stands out when it's not. And I know recently I was looking on Amazon and found somebody's kind of perma-free book, you know, the kind of book that's always free. And there were a bunch of reviews. And one of the reviews said it wasn't worth the value. And I just kind of laughed. And I was like, the value is 0. And it wasn't like it was on sale, like that the person had actually bought it. It was a free book when they got it too. And they didn't think it was worth the free. So this is the society we're in. The culture that we're in is that when people get free, they still expect value. And so if you are not giving value, you really are not going to make sales of, you know, your services, your books, your courses, because people are going to read your free and be like, yeah, no, there's nothing here. So you need to make your free content shine. And I realize this is kind of a catch-22 because I think it just shows if you're going to be someone, especially who is kind of an infopreneur, especially, but whatever you're offering to people, you have to have enough if you want to offer a paid version of it and also a free version of it. But don't skimp on the free. And then this last one is kind of about market research, but the last one, I think it's number 7, don't charge for something other people are giving away for free. Now, this gets tricky, kind of like a lot of the things here. You know, there's just a balance you have to find. But I do think it's important to see what other people out there are giving away. And as a case in point, because I think examples help, I recently bought a book from somebody I wanted to support. Looked like a good book. I got it, and it was a, PDF, which is fine. A lot of bloggers, sell PDF books, and but it was only about 10 pages. So I was kind of like, because I think it was between $5 and $10. Maybe it might have been $9.99. I was like, 10 pages. Huh. Okay. So I was a little disappointed. And then I read the content, and I will just say that it was nowhere near the depth that free content, free blog posts that were really, popular, well-known, cover on the same exact topic. In other words, I had read free blog posts, not even webinars or anything I needed to opt into. I had read free content online that had more depth and knowledge than this 10-page PDF that was $9.99. I think this person had not done her research, and you just have to. There's a line, because you don't want to do too much. And I think I see a lot of this happening where people spend so much time reading other people's content that then they start to mirror it. And sometimes it becomes subconscious and there becomes copying. And I know I have seen in the last year countless examples where I'm like, you know what, this person, I'm pretty sure ripped this off of my training that they attended this week, and now they're publishing their own. And you just have to wonder, is this person actually ripping it off? Do they even know? Or is it just that, this content that I gave to them is kind of in the subconscious level, and now they're bringing it out? It's hard to know, but I think you can go too deep with this. But you do need to make sure that nobody's offering something that's better for free than your paid content. Again, a lot of this is about making people feel cheated. And if I had to sum up kind of all these tips, it would really be that you need to kind of follow through on what you're saying. You need to have integrity with your words and with your products. So if you're saying something is free, it needs to be free. If you're going to say it has value, it needs to have value. If you're going to ask people to give up their time to attend a workshop or something, it needs to be worth their time. And this is going to be subjective. You will not make everybody happy. I've had people be super happy with something and also get an email from someone who really hated it. So you're going to have that. However, for the most part, you need to kind of be able to stand behind those things and stand behind your paid product and say, okay, this is a paid product. I'm not cheating anybody out of their money because all this is available for free. Or I've also, a lot of bloggers will actually repurpose blog posts and put them in a book, but a lot of them that I think have a great integrity will say up front, these are all from blog posts. You could find them searching around the blog, or you can just get the book. And so they're upfront about it. So it's not like you feel cheated, like, wait, these are all blog posts. Because if that's what it is and you don't tell people, they will feel cheated if they've read those blog posts or run across them later, or see the pins on Pinterest and click through and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't that book that I paid for. So you want to just be upfront. You want to have integrity, and you want your products to have the value that you say they're going to have. And if you don't always say like this has value, but putting a $sign on it, that's a value. Asking for an email address, you're attaching a value to it, that this is valuable enough that you're going to give me your email address. Have integrity with your products, with your words. And, you need to consider for yourself, how much free is too free? Am I creating a culture of people and a community of people who can't afford things and they know they can just get it for free here? Or am I creating raving fans who will buy my products? Or, am I creating raving fans who just don't have a budget because I'm the free person? Those are all things to consider. But I think no matter what you do with your paid and free, I hope that these tips will help you. And again, some of them sound so obvious, but I wouldn't be using them if they are not all things in the past year I have experienced online. Hopefully not you, but if it is, there's a chance for you to change. And also, maybe you disagree with me, and that's okay too, because we're not all going to have the same philosophy. Again, my whole thing here, I want to help you build a platform that isn't smarmy. These things feel smarmy to me, okay? And maybe you don't think they're smarmy and you have a different view, and the way you're running your business is different, and that's cool too. That's okay. But I probably won't opt in for your trainings or buy your products, okay? Just so we're clear, you know where I'm coming from, but that doesn't have to be where you're coming from. So I'd love to have some discussion on this. I'm going to start a thread in the Facebook group, creativewriting.com/community. And I really would love to know your thoughts. So you can also leave a comment on the post itself and see the show notes. I've got some links in there to what other people have to say about free content. You can find that at creativewriting.com/052. This is a really quick episode, I think, you guys, but hopefully meaty enough that it gave you something to think about in terms of your own business and what you are doing online. Thank you, as always, to Jasmine Commerce of JasmineCommerceMusic.com for the lovely tunes for this show, which I am always happy to hear. I kind of like listening back to the beginning of my show so I could hear her songs. But again, you can find her at JasmineCommerceMusic.com. I will leave you with this. Consider you're free. Consider you're paid. Have integrity with the products you create. And I hope you have an inspired week.